For Victims and Villains, my name is Josh. Today we are jumping into the insanely fun world of The Fall Guy. So this modern retelling of the classic 80s television show, which starred Lee Majors in the titular role, now sees Ryan Gosling attempting to find the gentleman that he stunt doubles for in order for them to finish their current project. If this is the film that kicks off our summer movie season, then boy howdy, what a way to kick off this season. The Fall Guy is literally the perfect example of a popcorn film. It has everything you want. It has romance, action, a kick-ass soundtrack, great performances, and electrifying chemistry between Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. Honestly, I feel like I could leave the review simply at those two brief sentences and sum up my entire thoughts and feelings on this movie. The comedy hits, the action choreography is among some of the best. Probably doesn't hurt that the film is directed by David Leitch, who became famous because of John Wick, but also comes from the world of stunt men himself. I'm not going to overcomplicate this. I'm ready to run this one through the Rorschach rating scale and keep this short, sweet, and to the point. The Fall Guy, 4 out of 5, easy across the board. This movie is just a lot of fun. This is the reason that you want to go to the movies and just immerse yourself in this from the very first moment that the music starts to accompany the Universal logo to the awesome and hilarious post-credit scene. This movie just delivers on all fronts that you want it to. This film feels like a blockbuster. It embraces itself as a blockbuster, but also feels like it's a parody of blockbusters, and that's what I think is so genius about this movie. Gosling, Blunt, Duke, every performance across the board is just insanely great, and there's also the villain reveal of this movie is just kind of feels like it's like way over the top, and it's perfect. All right, so if you guys have seen The Fall Guy, what did you think? Comment below and let me know. But let's head over to talk about some mental health. If you guys are new to our content, Mental Health Moment is where we will take a theme of mental health out of the film which we're talking about. Talk about it for a few moments in the hopes to deconstruct the stigma surrounding mental health. Without jumping into any spoilers, there is a major character that does go through some trauma in the beginning of the film, and their character arc throughout the entirety of the first act is really learning how to overcome said trauma. And I think, honestly, it's a stark reminder that trauma and how we respond to it is going to look completely different from person to person. The processing process doesn't look the same on me as it does on you. And so for those of us that are currently experiencing trauma, go at it at your own time. And for those of us that are going around, are surrounding ourselves with people that have recently gone through trauma or loss or grief or whatever number of things that they're currently going that are impacting their mental health, this is a reminder to be patient with them. Sometimes a patient person can make all of the difference for the person that is experiencing the trauma or any number of other mental health capacities. If you or someone you know is struggling with suicide, addiction, self-harm, or depression, click the links in the show notes below to check out our mental health resource library. The Fall Guy is now playing in theaters everywhere from Universal Pictures. Click the notes in the show notes below to check out more about Victims and Villains. That subscribe button, more of our podcast network, more movie reviews, how to support us financially, and more, all of which you guys can check out in the show notes below. Until next time, remember to stay classy.